So if you think about the elements of creation, there's different ways of looking at it, right? We are going to look at it from a very broad level perspective. We're breaking down the elements into 5 basic elements. So we're looking at earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And there's a lot of different ways to go about breaking it down, but I prefer to break it down this way, especially at the beginning, because you can understand really deep concepts by understanding the building blocks. And when you simplify things, it can become a much clearer picture. It was very useful for me to learn about things from this perspective. So in different practices, there's correlations between directions, elements, uses for elements, and we're going to get into that now. So the earth, if you think about the element of earth and what it is like, right? We know that the earth element is used for grounding, and it's used for grounding because of its heaviness, because of its stability. So earth represents stability in life. It's what we walk upon when we go outside and walk upon earth. It's the dense, heavy, stable aspect of the elements. And it's correlated to the direction north. So we have stable earth in the north. Then we have water. So if you think about water, it's very adaptable, it's flexible, it fills up whatever it's poured into. So no matter what size vase or glass or cup or whatever, a bowl you have, if you pour water into it, water expands and it fills the space. So water represents cohesion because it keeps things together. So like when you mix earth and earth and water, you have mud. It becomes more cohesive, right? So water represents cohesion, and it is related to the direction west. So in the north, we have stable earth. In the west, we have cohesive water. In the south, we have transformative fire. So fire in alchemy transforms and transmutes things. The element of fire, if you think about it, that's what it does. If you light a match, the match is never going to be the same again, because once you light it and there's fire, it burns the wood. It transforms what was there. So fire represents transformation. It has a transformative type of energy. Air is about movement. So without air, there is no movement. The element of air is light, it's movement, it's always about moving. And when we talk about it in the sense of the body, that's what is in control of movement of things. It's the air element because it's related to movement, and it's correlated to the direction east. Lastly, we have ether, which we never hear about ether. It's a very small group of people that talk about it. Ether is just like the space. There's just space, and there is a lot of it everywhere, right? It's funny, the least talked about element is great. It seems to have the greatest mass. Well, maybe not mass as in weight, because it's seemingly weightless. However, it's huge, right? Like, I don't know what the right term would be, but it's everywhere. And it represents connectivity. So it doesn't have north, south, east, or west direction. Those are the basic 4 elements. The 5th element is connectivity, ether. It's literally everywhere. It's empty space. So when we're talking about the body, we correlate the elements to our actual energetic system, our human system, in an energetic sense. So this would be in the kosha. I mean, it's on all levels, but when we're working with it, it's oftentimes we're working with the prana. So it's more of an energy related aspect of self that comes into play. So not only is our body made up of these elements, but we have specific energy centers that are correlated to each element, which we can go over. But it's definitely in the book depicted very clearly for you. It starts at the root with earth, which makes sense, right? It's about stability, and that's all about the root chakra is all about stability. Then when we move up, the sacral is water. Solar plexus is fire, which makes sense, right? The heart is air. The throat is ether. The third eye is thought, and the crown is light. The crown of light, the crown of illumination, right? It all very much makes sense. And when we're categorizing the different energy centers, anything that is from the solar plexus down is related to physical. The heart is the connector. So it connects the physical energy centers with the spiritual. So the spiritual are the top three. The heart is the connector, and the bottom three are the physical. So when we're talking about the different elements, as far as earth, water, air, and ether, we're correlating them to the body. We're also understanding how the body functions through the different elements and how they work together. We can look at this from a micro level, like on the physical human system level, and then we can look at it in an expansive way to expand consciousness by applying the same understanding to the macro level. So cosmology, the cosmological level of understanding things, which is really useful, right? Because we can apply our same understanding of the cosmos to our body and vice versa. So it's like, this was really helpful information. So the elements of creation make up the body, and we can also use the elements to cleanse our body. So that's the other part of it. We cleanse our system using the earth. If you think about, people take like mud baths and things of that nature, or baths with herbs and spices in them. That is using the element of earth. We wash ourselves with water, hopefully every day. So most people use, water. They shower on a regular basis. So that's always cleansing. You can also use fire. So like a campfire or a fireplace or something like that. It is very cleansing and meditative. And a lot of people do it without realizing that it's actually cleansing their system. Cleansing with air. So like if you ever go outside on a windy day and you feel like very refreshed afterwards, that's the element of air cleansing you. So you can come up with different ways, knowingly and consciously, create your own different cleansing methods using the elements. So it all comes full circle. What you're made of actually cleanses you as well, and how it all functions on a greater system in the macro level. I think that is a big full circle for us to take a pause and reflect and look at the different images in the book to help solidify the understanding.